Yeah, man. Kenny G is different. Kenneth Bruce Gorelick, yeah, that's his real name. He was born way back in 1956 out there in Seattle, Washington. Now, Kenny wasn't born with a silver spoon in his mouth, but he did pick up a saxophone at the tender age of 10. And let me tell you, by the time he was in high school, he wasn't just noodling around. He was out there on the circuit, laying down tracks with a funk band called Cold, Bold, and Together. But here's where it gets good. In 1976, this kid, barely out of his teens, gets a call to come play in the big leagues.
What happened was they came to Seattle. Barry's sax soloist couldn't make it for whatever reason, so they're desperate. I remember my teacher comes up to me and goes, "Hey, do you want to do a gig with Barry White?" I go, "Huh? Do you want it?" I said, "Sure, I'll do it."
He went on tour blowing that horn with the maestro of love himself, the one and only Barry White, and his Love Unlimited Orchestra. Yeah, you heard me. Before dude was the king of smooth, he was grooving with the king of romance. He spent years in that musical pressure cooker, learning every trick in the book, getting those chops razor sharp. But he was also doing it at the same time he was studying accounting at the University of Washington.
That lady, yeah, the one with the pretty eye.
Here, listen to that. That's from his early days, 1983. He had the funk, the raw energy, the undeniable swagger in his playing. This ain't no ordinary cat, but he was still just considered an insider secret, a musician's musician. And then, everything shifted. The year was 1986. The charts were dominated by vocal powerhouses. People like Madonna, Whitney, and Michael Jackson. Pop ruled the airwaves. So who's gonna make room for an instrumentalist? Nobody. But Kenny G, he dropped his album, Dual Tones, and tucked away on that record was a little track that almost didn't see the light of day. It was meant to be a B-side recording. It was called Songbird. And when the radio stations started slipping it in on their playlist, it wasn't just a hit, it was an explosion. Feel that? That's the sound of history being made, that perfect melodic phrase. It's like the saxophone itself is singing a love song, no words needed. That emotion, that pure connection, it shot Songbird right into the top 5 of the Billboard Hot 100. Now, an instrumental in the top 5, that, my friend, was a musical miracle. That's when Kenny G became more than just a musician. He became a phenomenon. From that moment on, he wasn't just charting, he was rewriting the record books. His albums like Miracles and Breathless didn't just sell, they flew off the shelves, hitting numbers most artists only dream of. We're talking over 75 million records sold worldwide, making him one of the best-selling artists of all times, period. And he jammed with everybody along the way, from Whitney Houston to Aretha Franklin to Michael Bolton, and on and on. His sound was everywhere. The melody from 1992, instantly recognizable, right? It's warm and romantic and produced to perfection. This is the sound that defined a generation, the soundtrack to countless first dances and late-night drives. Kenny was now starting to be looked at as a legend, and legends are known for doing extraordinary things. Now, one great example of this status happened a few years ago. He was on a Delta flight when a flight attendant was doing a fundraiser for her daughter's cancer treatment. Old Kenny G made a deal with the passengers. If they were willing to raise over $1,000, he would play for them. Those guys blew the goal away, quickly raising over $2,000. So on the spot, Kenny pulled out his sax and played a whole set right there in the aisle. Man, that thing went viral overnight. I guess this is the new thing to do, you know? Remember when Dave cosplayed on that Alaska Airlines flight that was held over for mechanical issues? But here's the kicker. When you reach that kind of height, the haters come out. The jazz purists, they sharpen their knives. They said Kenny G's music was too commercial, too light, background noise even. Oh, legendary jazz guitar Pat Metheny, he went all the way in, publicly stating that Kenny G's music defiled the legacy of jazz greats. That thing was a heated debate. Now, Pat's my man and my most favorite musician, but he was a little rough on Kenny there, I think. But listen to that skill, that precision. You can criticize the genre, but you can't deny the man's talent. Despite the shade, his music kept selling. Now, did you know that Kenny even earned a Guinness Book of World Record by playing the longest sustained note ever recorded on a saxophone? This guy is untouchable, unstoppable. Kenny G, at 69 years young, is actively touring the globe right now, selling out venues from Seattle to Tokyo. He's released a memoir, Life in the Key of G, giving us that inside scoop. And yes, he's still collaborating. Y'all remember that Kanye West video from 2019? Unfortunately. Kenny G working for Kanye, serenading Kim Kardashian in her living room full of roses. I'm not sure what to think of that, but I can't judge y'all. But I do know that Kenny G's sound isn't just distinctive and timeless, man, it's eternal.